wahalifu kama kina Sudi ziko.
Eti? Ukiwa taka kazi, unakuja mbio kama swara. Sasa umepata kazi kama kinyonga.
Sudi usinchefue na asubuhi.
Jogoo akirausha watu asubuhi, urausha pia yule atakayemchinja upo.
Sipo.
Lazima uwe makini sana unapokuwa na yeye.
Kwa nini?
Yeye uone vile anavyokuangalia. Lazima kuna kitu.
Mbona sikuelewi?
Lazima nitamwona dadangu. Huni unyama gani mnanifanyia?
Mimi ningependa uzingatie kazi yako zaidi
na sio mambo ya jasiri.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome to KBC Lunchtime News on these Diwali festivities. And again, I say happy Diwali to all our Hindu brothers and sisters. My name is Njue. Lucy Mwaura, who will be my colleague handling the sign language interpretation. Welcome to a comprehensive news bulletin. We start with some good news for the national broadcaster. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation first female managing director Agnes Kaleche assumed office on Wednesday with a pledge to revamp the country's oldest media house. In her maiden speech, Kaleche pledged to engage the staff and streamline affairs of the corporation. KBC board chairman Tom Mshindi welcomed her to office, saying the board will fully support her. Yusuf Farah with the details of her first day in office.
After nearly 2 years without a substantive managing director, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation has a new managing director, Agnes Kaleche. Kaleche makes history as the first female managing director at the state broadcaster. And as she joined KBC, the new MD pledged to take the national broadcaster to the next level.
On the 25th, the court issued a stay, and I'm here. I've reported back. I've signed my contract. I'm excited to take this broadcasting to higher heights. So for us, we'll just work with the staff to see what we have, improve on the processes and what they.
Board chairman Tom Mshindi expressed confidence in her leadership as she took over the mantle.
It's a very exciting time for us. It's a time of change. It's a time to really start giving the corporation a new face, a new brand, a refreshed appearance and relevance to the communities of these countries.
Kaleche takes over from acting managing director Florence Migunde, who was appointed a month ago after the tenure of Paul Masharia, who was acting, came to an end.
I've been holding brief for you, and I have done a good job, and I know you will continue and doing better.
Kaleche was appointed in May last year for a 3-year period, but did not assume office immediately owing to a court case that has since been concluded. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
And we say welcome, Madam MD. In other news, the government has begun conducting security operations in the volatile areas of Angata Baringo area in Transmara, South Sub-County, Narok County, following increased cases of insecurity. The operations are aimed at flashing out criminals. Tension is high in the area following on and off clashes between two warring communities. Speaking when he toured the area, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Dr. Abdi Hassan warned those in possession of illegal firearms to surrender them. This comes after 4 people were killed, 10 injured, and several acreage of maize plantation destroyed in the clashes. The RC, who was accompanied by the Rift Valley security team and county security team, warned that no stone will be left unturned until peace is restored in the area.
Sisi tumekuja hapa kuhakikisha ya kwamba kuna usalama, kwa sababu kwa siku ya hivi karibuni tumekuwa na visa vingi ya watu kudungwa mishale, wengine kupigwa risasi na wengine kupata matatizo ya kila aina. Na mambo haya hatuwezi kukubali. Kuwe na mzozo wa ardhi, kusiwe na mzozo wa ardhi, hatuwezi kukubali kamwe. Kwa vyovyote vile watu watumie mabavu eti kwa sababu wako na matatizo. Hatuwezi kubali.
Community leaders in Lamu County have raised an alarm in regards to significant increase in teenage pregnancies and early marriages this year compared to the year 2023. Statistics from Mpeketoni Health Center shows that at least 52 cases of early pregnancies were recorded in the period under review. Among the cases, 42 required surgical intervention to give birth, where the youngest victim being a 13-year-old girl. The leaders are calling on the relevant authorities to initiate public awareness campaigns on the serious implications of early motherhood and marriage.
Ule mtoto hajafika umri wa kuzaa, kizazi chake, ile kiuno chake ni akija koma, kwa hivyo hawezi kubeba mtoto mpaka azae kawaida. Hiyo jia ni dogo, so madhara ni mawili ama ni mengi zaidi, lakini yale makubwa tunapata hapa ni kizazi kinapasuka wakati mtoto anasukuma.
Ni jukumu la mzazi kwanza, jukumu ni la mzazi, na hata kama tutastaja idara, tuseme shuleni ama wapi, jukumu ni la mzazi. Mzazi ndiye ambaye anakaa na mtoto wake, anamfundisha akiwa mdogo, na anapokuwa mkubwa yale maadili akiyashika, hakika hawezi kupotea.
Hili ni jambo ambalo limetugusa sisi kama ofisi ya mashirika la Muhuri, kwa sababu mimba hizi zimetokea kwa watoto wadogo. Kwa nini tunasema watoto? Kwa sababu ni wasichana walioko katika umri wa chini ya miaka 17.
The transport sector now, where the National Transport and Safety Authority NTSA has lifted the 1-month suspension placed on Kericho Traveller Sacco after the Sacco's compliance with all regulatory requirements. This clearance marks the Sacco's return to full operations after a suspension that had been occasioned by their failure to meet critical compliance standards, including maintaining the minimum number of operational matatus. Kericho Traveller Sacco Chairman Isaiah Rotich expressed relief at the resolution, assuring the public that the Sacco has taken all necessary steps to align with NTSA guidelines.
Christmas, muendeshe magari kwa mwendo ile ambayo imewekwa 80 kilometers, that is enough. Muendelee hivyo. Tanboy, wale ambao mnafanya kazi pamoja, muwe watu ya kuongelesha watu maneno ambayo ni wazuri.
Siku ya leo tumefurahi kwa sababu tumefunguliwa rasmi leo na NTSA, tukue kwa barabara, na nikempera sana kuomba drivers na conductors hii msimu ya Christmas tujunge sheria ya barabara, tusiwe speed access na hiyo overlapping.
And still on transport, Western Region Commissioner Irongo Masharia has warned truck drivers plying the Eldoret-Malaba route against evading to pay the county cess, saying they risk serious consequences. On their part, a section of the drivers have, however, demanded for better services from the Busia County government, including proper sanitation facilities before adhering to the newly enacted levy truck collection.
County inasema tulipe, ni kama kusema ushuru, kwa sababu tunalipa kwa highway haje. Haya, sisi wenyewe tumepata shida, hakuna hoteli, hakuna choo, tunaenda kwa mahindi ya watu ambapo hatujapata usaidizi, lakini sasa tumeamua barabara tumefunga mpaka kieleweke.
Anatuambia tulipewe pesa 400. Leo tulipe 400 kwa hii county. Kesho Bungoma nayo ianze tulipe 400. Kesho kutwa Kakamega tulipe. Kuanzia hapa mpaka Mombasa ni county 13. 400 hiyo ni 5200 bila shaka. Hizo pesa za dereva anazipata wapi za kulipa pesa?
In other news, KCA University Town Campus has unveiled a state-of-the-art research facility dedicated to ensuring students acquire skills that help them address some of the most pressing food challenges. And unlike traditional training centers, this facility will focus on in-depth research aimed at developing actionable solutions for issues such as food security, sustainable agriculture, and nutrition.
Sustainability in terms of our food supply, our food distribution, our food consumption. So we are not only teaching them how to cook and prepare meals, we are also teaching them how to make money out of the food.
Options that we've got to ensure that we've got a sustainable food system is, number one, to reduce the role of livestock in our food system and therefore encourage more consumption of plant-based products.
The Kamba community living in Kilifi County has urged the county government to recognize them as locals so they can access equal opportunities within the county. Speaking at a meeting for their social alliance called Mbaito, community members living in Kilifi say they have invested heavily in the county and are committed to the growth of the county as their home. They have expressed their intention to present their grievances to Kilifi governor.
Tumekaa hapa, tumesalia hapa, vitambulisho wetu ni vya hapa, lakini sisi kama jamii ya Wakamba hatutambuliki. Hata wakati wa kura tunapiganga kura, lakini hatutapata position yoyote.
Tuna malengo makuu ni kwa ajili ya siasa za hapa na siasa za Kilifi County, nasi tuweze kutambuliwa, maana tukiwa pamoja na wataweza kutupatia nafasi na kututambua kama jamii tukiwa mahali hapa.
Let's now focus on matter security, where Tana River Governor Dado Godana has attributed the recent intercommunity clashes to administrative boundaries and resource allocation. Speaking in Bongale sub-county, the county boss called upon the government to offer a lasting solution to the clashes which have resulted in the loss of life and property. The Regional Security and Intelligence Committee, led by the Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha, pitched camp in the county a fortnight ago after 18 people were killed and others injured following the clashes that rocked Anole village, Bangale sub-county of Nanihi village in Tana North sub-county.
Zimeua watu, zimepatikana, na wale ambao walikuwa nazo wamechukuliwa hatua za kisheria. Hayo yote wananchi wanangoja, na hata mimi nangoja kama mwananchi wa Tana. Pia ni wakati mzuri kwa national government kushirikiana na county government pamoja na wananchi wa Tana, ili yale matatizo sugu ambayo yanatuweka katika hali ya malumbano kila wakati yaweze kutatuliwa. Na moja kati ya hizo ni mipaka ya sub-counties, ni mipaka ya wards, ni mipaka ya ndani kwa ndani.
Elsewhere, doctors in Baringo County have downed their tools, demanding for promotion and redesignation from the county government. This comes after the county government failed to fulfill a 7-day strike notice that had been issued by the doctors. Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentist Union, KMPDU, North Rift Branch Secretary Dr. Kamozi Mulei, faulted the county government for failing to honor the demands, warning that they will not resume duties till the demands are met. North Rift KMPDU Treasurer Dr. Daniel Demusik has also urged the Ministry of Health to fight for the rights of doctors.
Tunapatia ilani kwamba hii strike itaendelea hadi wa county wafanya ambao wafanya promotion. Ikibidi tutashika wa raia, tunaleta raia, tunaandamana na raia kwa sababu raia ndio wanaumia. Inawezekanaje raia atoke hapa hakuna daktari anaenda kununua dawa? Haiwezekani.
Tumeona udhaifu mwingi sana kutoka kwa management ya Baringo County kwa sababu tulipiana ilani, tulikuwa kwa strike ambao iliisha mwezi wa 3, na katika ile strike kulikuwa na return to work formula. Na hiyo return work formula ilikuwa inaagizia mambo ya kupandishwa vyeo, promotions, mambo ya insurance cover for all the healthcare workers including doctors.
Our next story now, we go back to the House on the Hill, State House, Nairobi, where my colleague Ben Kipchumba has been keeping tabs with the festivities of the lights, that is Diwali, and now brings us up to speed with the latest from State House, Nairobi. If you can hear me, good afternoon, Ben Kipchumba.
A very good afternoon, Ben Troy. My name is Ben Kipchumba. I'm coming to you live from State House in Nairobi, where the Hindu community has been celebrate the Diwali celebrations that is marked on November 1st. That is just a few days from today, where the President William Ruto, members of the Hindu community were here to celebrate the Diwali celebrations. And without much ado, I'm being joined by one of the Secretary General of one of the religious organizations in the Hindu community, so that he can tell us more about today's event. It's good to have you. Maybe you can tell us more about today's event.
Okay, today's event we have just marked at the State House with His Excellency the President of Kenya. All the organizations, Hindu organizations, people from this organization in Kenya came together at the State House towards the Diwali celebrations. Yeah.
What does the Festival of Lights mean?
Festival of Light means, according to Hindus, these were the days when the evils were ruling the country or all over the universe or world. We can say that. And Lord Rama came over evil. That is Ravan, that is called Ravan, and came over him to end the evil and bring joy, happiness to this world. That is when we celebrate Diwali. Diwali is the last day, then we have the New Year, which is on Saturday now. Then we start a new era of happiness and joy.
I understand that you'll be ushering a new year on November 1st. Which year is this going to be?
This is going to be, according to the Hindu calendar, it's going to be 2081. We will be entering into 2081.
And as you mark these celebrations, what message do you have for Kenyans?
The message we have for Kenyans is despite our color, religion, and culture, we are Kenyans. We want this Diwali, Happy New Year with all the Kenyans, not with among ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mwanzangu Ben Troy, niruhusu nitumie lugha ya Kiswahili. Huyu amekuwa ni mojawapo ya makatibu wa viongozi wa dini katika dini ya Kihindu, ambapo amesema kwamba ni siku ambayo ni muhimu sana kwao, siku ya tarehe 1 ambao wanasherehekea siku ni siku ambayo pia Rais William Ruto ameweza kushuhudia sherehe ambazo zimeandaliwa katika ikulu, ambazo pia tumeweza kuona fataki zikiweza kutupwa kuashiria kilele cha sherehe ya leo. Kumbuka mtazamaji, ni kwamba katika hotuba ya Rais William Ruto ameweza kutoa hakikisho kwamba serikali itakinga dini dhidi ya mwingilio wote hile na kuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya watakuwa na uhuru wa kuabudu. Rais pia William Ruto ameweza pia kusema kwamba ameweza kusikiza ombi la jumuiya ya Wahindu ambao walisema kwamba kulingana nao wangependekeza kwamba siku ya tarehe 1 mwezi Novemba iweze kuwa ni siku kuu ya Wakenya mzima kuweza kusherekea siku kuu ya Diwali, na Rais William Ruto amesema kwamba ndio amesikia na atafanya mchakato kuhakikisha kwamba uamuzi unaafikiwa kufikia mwaka ujao. Kumbuka kwamba hii ni sherehe ambayo inaandaliwa kila mwaka katika dini ya Kihindu, na alivyosema hapa ni kwamba ifikapo Ijumaa watakuwa kukaribisha mwaka mpya ambao wanasema itakuwa ni mwaka wa 2081, mwaka 2081. Kwa hivyo ni taarifa tu ambayo bado tunazidi kushughulikia, na bila shaka tutaweza kuwasha watazamaji wetu zaidi kuhusiana na taarifa hiyo. Alafu pia tumeona kwamba wale viongozi wa dini ya Kihindu wameweza kusema kwamba wanaomba rais aweze kutenga kipande cha ardhi cha eka 10 ambao wanaweza kujenga hospitali ya kisasa pamoja na shule ambayo itahakikisha kwamba Wakenya wanapata huduma za elimu na huduma za afya kwa bei nafuu. Kwa hivyo tu jawapo ya ombi ambalo lilikuwa limetolewa na viongozi wa dini la Kihindu. Mimi sina la ziada, narejesha kwako Ben Troy.
Shukran sana mwenzangu Ben Chumba na kazi kuntu kutuletea hayo matangazo mubashara kutoka State House. And away from the Diwali festivities, we now look at a special feature in regards to this Diwali festival to understand it more.
Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali. BAPS Swaminarayan Temple, Nairobi. A bevy of activities, preparations for this year's Diwali, also known as the Festival of Lights, have entered homestretch as devotees finalize on touch-ups at the Mandir. Diwali, also known as the Festival of Lights, is celebrated by millions across the world, where they illuminate oil lamps or candles to symbolize the triumph of light over darkness and good over evil. It is an ancient Hindu festival celebrated annually and is considered to be the most significant festival in Hinduism, while also being celebrated by Buddhists, Jains and Sikhs. The Festival of Lights, which spans 5 days, varies every year depending on the Hindu lunar calendar. The 5 days of Diwali are marked by prayer, feasts, fireworks, family gatherings and charitable giving. The temple has been under renovation in preparation for the Diwali festival, as it will play host to the celebration on 12th November. According to devotees, 95% of the work at the temple is complete, including a state-of-the-art exhibition space depicting the Indian culture, including their social norms, traditions, technology, languages, religion, architecture, science, customs that differ from place to place globally.
Here we have an exhibition on Hinduism which is open to all, and we are preparing it and renovating it and having it ready before Diwali.
At the workshop, it's a sight to behold as young women decorate rangolis with designs made out of colored paint.
Behind me, the girls here are preparing a rangoli. A rangoli is a form of art that signifies happiness, positivity, and liveliness. And we usually do this on the sidewalk of our houses, so in the entrance. So this is usually to welcome God and also welcome all the guests and relatives to come home. The same way we are doing this in the temple to again welcome positivity, happiness, and liveliness, and also now the guests during Diwali and Ankut.
At a different section of the workshop, women prepare the sweets while men bake the sweets.
We usually have sweets given out at on New Year's Day, which is the last day of the 5-day event. And you'll be given like small tins. They're usually sweets inside, which are prepared, handmade, and they're packed and given out. So it's given out to every household that comes here.
Diwali comes from the Sanskrit word Dipavali, meaning rows of lighted lamps.
This came back from the origin from Lord Ram's time, when Lord Ram won over Ravan, who was on the evil side. So since then we celebrate where the village people welcomed him with diyas, and that is how we celebrate Diwali, with diyas.
Houses, shops and public spaces are decorated with small oil lamps called diyas. Many celebrants practice various traditions, including prayers, cleaning their homes, baking sweets, decorating with lamps and rangolis with designs made on the floor out of colored sand, powder, rice or flower petals, buying new clothes, preparing festive meals, decorating buildings with lights and fireworks.
Every Hindu house is usually cleaned in every corner, and it's a symbol of removing negativity and bringing in positivity. So the cleanliness brings positivity. Happens to all temples as well, that all the dirt is removed.
For some, Diwali will mark the beginning of a new year. Diwali is also a celebration of the Hindu goddess of wealth and fortune, Lakshmi. In India's early agrarian society, Diwali coincided with the last harvest before winter, a time to pray for Lakshmi for good fortune. Today, Indian businesses still consider Diwali the first day of the financial year. It is also the social high point for Indians as people buoyed by festive cheer, throwing parties, meeting friends and family and exchanging gifts. The festival will also mark 25th anniversary of the BAPS Swaminarayan Temple.
Diwali and the next day, that is our New Year's, people come to worship God, offer their devotion, and that's where all of this is going to be displayed as a form of devotion to God. We go to people's house, celebrate with them, connect, make our connections stronger and stay united. So that is how we celebrate it.
Reporting for My Culture, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Very interesting feature on Diwali, and today expect a number of fireworks, especially in many estates here in Nairobi and other parts of the country. Thank you, Wambiru, for that informative piece. But it's time for me to take a breather together with my sign language expert. But when we come back, we still have more news. I'll run you through a couple of more stories, and we'll also be looking at the e-commerce trends. You must have heard of companies talk about Black Friday. What's it about? Or Black November? All right, we'll be talking about that plus much more. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2024. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.ufaa.go.ke and get started to beat the November 1st deadline. It's your turn. Report and surrender today. Please note that failure to report and surrender qualifying unclaimed financial assets attract penalties and sanctions in line with Section 33 of the UFA Act 2011. UFAA. Receive, safeguard, reunite. Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sports, music, entertainment news, live TV, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
Welcome back, and many thanks for keeping it KBC Channel 1. And before we enter into the interactive segment, we will be looking at the week-long engineers conference that is taking place in Mombasa. And my colleague Regina is currently on standby, as you can see. Good afternoon, Ray, from the coastal city of Mombasa.
Thank you very much, Ben Troy. Rightfully put, this is day 2 of the 31st IK International Convention. It has been quite a morning. This morning we started off with conversations around innovation and technology with various young techies coming in who are also engineers coming in to showcase what they have had. We've had solutions for matters energy as well as climate change. But I'm joined by none other than engineer Nathaniel Matelanga, who is the new president-elect of the World Council of Civil Engineers, the very first representative we have in Kenya. Now, just give us a quick executive summary of the take-home of day 2 of this particular convention. Starting off, how do we move then our solutions from the lab to commercialize them?
Thank you very much. I think we have learned and we've had very good sessions. We are very privileged to be joined by the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Transport and Roads, Honorable Davis Chirchir. He's listened to us and he has promised us a lot of support, that he's able to partner with the engineers in Kenya, and engineers should be able to go to his office, discuss, and he's actually promised that if we are stuck anywhere, we now have our elder, in the names of Engineer Raila Amolo Odinga, who can help us. We don't need to go to the streets. The young people were willing, as the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, to help them put their proposals together so that once they come up with a new innovation, it gets registration and protection so that no one with cash can take it and run away from them. We are able to work with all the professional bodies to ensure that this is respected and the owner of the idea is remunerated.
Now, on the question of remuneration, we also had the IEK president literally challenge the government and said that it's a high time that local engineers got the right job category and were paid for work done in regard to pending bills. What is your take on that? And just to also mention that also the CS said that that is something that they're going to be looking into.
Yes. Thank you very much. We are also very happy that the CS promised to look into this matter of pending bills, because a lot of our members who are consulting engineers and even those ones who venture into construction, when they have finished doing the work, they are not paid, and therefore they go into the history of pending bills. And unless you have money, you cannot run a proper office. You cannot provide employment to the young people. So this thing has affected a lot the practice of professional engineering in Kenya. And we are very grateful with this session with the CS. We've been promised that this matter will be looked into. Even the governor of Mombasa was also here, and he promised us that in Mombasa, the last year they don't have any pending bills. Now he's promised also to sort out the historical pending bills, and this will go a long way in improving the development of infrastructure in this country, the welfare of our members, and creation of jobs to the young people.
Now, from your position as President-elect, World Council of Civil Engineers, what role are you going to play to ensure that we also expand our boundaries as local engineers in the country?
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful that Kenya has been recognized to provide the first African president of the World Council of Civil Engineers. This is a strategic position because you are able to have a global position and strategize to get the world best practices to our members. My major task is to ensure that I identify the best, not only for Kenya, but for Africa, because infrastructure development is now happening in Africa. And unless we know what we want, we go to the negotiating table with our historical ways of doing things to ensure that whoever is helping us is able to understand what we need and how he can go about it. The other thing is we know that we have sometimes challenges, people coming to work here who are not even engineers. Now we have a global network, we have a global register basically, so it's very easy for us to identify who is who. Yes. So we are able to ensure that whoever is coming and practicing, and also force these people that we get a transfer of technology to our members and create training of engineers. We can only develop, Kenya cannot be developed by foreigners. Kenya can only be developed by Kenyans. And unless we grow this database, we grow the training of our members, we make our training to an international standard. We shall not be able to get there. Cognition of our members is going to be enhanced once the Engineers Board of Kenya is able to accede to the Washington Accord. This will help our members get international positions, and also our universities should be able to attract foreign students. Thank you very much.
Very well said. As we've heard, we've been speaking to none other than Engineer Nathaniel Matalanga, who is a president-elect for WCCE. Quite a morning here, Ben Troy, so I hand it over to you. We're going to be keeping tabs on this particular convention for the next several days. To you, Troy.
Thank you so much, Regina. Coming to us live from the coastal city of Mombasa, they're engaging the president-elect of World Council of Civil Engineers. Many thanks for that discussion and also for their partnership that they have with the corporation as well. Well, indeed, we are on our interactive segment, as I mentioned earlier before, in regards to e-commerce trends, and especially in the light of the end of year, because we everywhere, schools and companies talk about end of year celebration, and so they cut their prices, talk about Black Friday, talk about Black November, all this especially in the e-commerce sector. Allow me now to rope in Vinod Goel, who is the regional CEO of Jumia East Africa. Vinod, good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Troy.
And happy Diwali. What's a coincidence?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. And we've heard of Black November, Black Friday, in terms of many companies that want to at least get something before the year end. Let me take you back to our economy. Are you, as a very big company in the continent and in the world, are you feeling the heat, and how have you adjusted in regards to this, because you're still offering these offers?
Yeah, so definitely we feel the heat. We understand the context is tough. However, it is very counterintuitive. What we are seeing is that on the one side we have the tough economy, on the other hand side, on Jumia and on e-commerce, we are seeing a very positive trend. Now this might be related because we are trying our best to make sure that Jumia and e-commerce works towards the needs of the people. And hence, when we see the conditions are tough, when we have the taxes going high, when we have the high inflation, people are adapting e-commerce more and more, simply because it has the affordability angle. So if you are in a town outside Nairobi or inside Nairobi, and you're looking for something which costs you 20,000 shilling, you are able to find better varieties of the same products in 30%, 40%, 20% cheaper on Jumia. And this is how the tough conditions are helping the growth of e-commerce and Jumia.
Yeah, and I'm looking at how phones and internet coverage, and especially in East Africa region, Kenya specifically, has improved e-commerce in the country. But unfortunately, that has not improved the infrastructure. How are you working around that to ensure that those people in very rural areas who can access smartphones, but looking at the infrastructure is quite challenged?
Absolutely.
How are you addressing this?
Yes, I think it's changing an infrastructure is a much more tedious task. What we have seen in smartphones, if you see in the last 5 years, the average price of smartphone has gone down from around 26,000 shilling. Now you can get even at 8,000 shilling a decent smartphone, a very good quality smartphone. This is thanks to the e-commerce and players like us who bring source directly, the goods directly from the source to the consumers, and hence you cut a lot of supply chain inefficiencies and the costs and the margins, because we work directly with the source of the goods and bring them finally to the final consumer. And secondly, there has been a lot of technical advances in smartphone market. So the price of the smartphones have gone down. Now changing the infrastructure is definitely a bigger task.
And of course, every e-commerce company has to think about how to rope in more customers, and of course, how to rope in more vendors as well.
Correct.
How are you working with vendors to ensure that they also benefit from this? Because you talked about cutting the supply chain to make it a little bit lean and mean, so that maybe the benefit translates to the customer.
So I think on the customer side, there are two things happening. Of course, Jumia is widening the net, and we are onboarding more and more sellers. But I think the wheel has started to turn. The word of mouth is a very powerful tool, where the sellers are finally seeing a huge advantage of expanding their market from 1 to 2 kilometers to whole Kenya overnight. So if I'm somebody selling shoes in my shop in Nairobi, my radius would be 2, 4, 5, 7 kilometers, right? But the moment I get on Jumia, whole Kenya is my market. Even people on Lamu or Garissa or Kericho or Molo are able to buy my shoes. So I think that is one thing happening, and the vendors are themselves spreading the word of mouth that if you need to grow your business, Jumia is the platform.
And in the last, let me be very honest, in the last more or less like 10 years, you've really scaled up because, as I mentioned, there's internet, there's the availability of smartphones, and of course your business has grown in that period. Well, how have you been addressing the challenges of scaling up? Because in everything that you scale up, there are a number of challenges that come in, and especially in the East African region.
Correct. So I think the macros are with us. The smartphone penetration, the internet penetration, the cost of internet, the cost of moving money, and then our young population in Kenya, all these macros are supporting us that e-commerce is growing pretty fast. Now, the biggest challenge, and I was recently on a road trip from here to Kisumu. I spent 17 hours on the roads, stopping in every market and every pickup station of Jumia. And to be honest, the biggest complaint I had from our customers was that, why you are not in our town? Why you're not in my city? I still have to take a boda for 3 kilometers to come to Jumia pickup station. So I think our challenge is to cope up with the growth. And we are trying our best. We have recently increased our presence from 260 pickup stations to 300, so covering 60 more cities. And it's a continuous effort we are putting. The more and more support we get from our sellers and more demand we get from our customers, we are going to cover much more areas in Kenya.
Now, and maybe to crunch the figures, maybe more or less, how many vendors do you have in the country? Because there are so many products that you sell that are locally available, but there are some that have to be imported.
Correct. So in terms of vendors, we have around 18 to 20,000 active vendors. So we have many more vendors than that. We can't even find a number. But the active ones, those who are selling continuously on Jumia, is in the range of 18 to 20,000. Now, more than 95% of these sellers are local sellers, and hence a handful of sellers are international sellers, and hence we are complementing the assortment on Jumia, that you have the goods which are available here, now available to whole Kenya, not only Nairobi, and then you have the goods which are not available in Kenya, are also accessible to Kenyans.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but I would like you to touch on what can customers expect, and especially in the Black November and also in the years to come. What else are we expecting to be buying from e-commerce companies like Jumia?
So this Black Friday is in principle is the similar Black Friday, but it is much bigger on the scale. We have done a lot of work across the category. So if you are looking to buy anything in terms of appliances, in terms of phones, in terms of anything for your home, beauty category, fashion, everything is at a very, very good discount. So 1st of November, midnight of 31st till 30th of November, we have millions of products which are on very good discounts. So I invite all the people to download Jumia application, go on Jumia website and benefit from the deals. Now this Black Friday. The benefit of Black Friday will continue in the December as well. December is also festive season for all of us. Christmas is there, New Year is there. So all the deals we secure for Black Friday for November will definitely continue till December. And this is thanks to all our partners. And lastly, in the coming years, I think what is changing is that as we are growing in terms of volume, we are able to reduce our shipping costs. We are able to reduce the margins on the products. We are able to go faster. So if it was taking me 5 days to go to Garissa to deliver a product, now it is 3 days. And the more we grow those areas, we're gonna be delivering in 1 or 2 days. So I think watch out, Jumia is growing, e-commerce is growing. Thanks to all the support, and take benefit.
Maybe 30 seconds, how are you dealing with the complaints from customers? Because sometimes you find somebody has been shipped something that was not exactly what he ordered.
Yes. So there is a very strong control on the quality of the products, and we are very mindful of that. There are two kind of controls on that. One is the physical human control, which is that everything which enters in Jumia's warehouse is being sample checked, right? The number two, which is we are working more and more, is the automatic one. So if somebody sells an inferior quality product on Jumia, the customer gives us a feedback in two ways. Either the customer returns the product with a feedback, or the customer gives us a review on the website, right?
Yes.
And these two factors automatically go on the seller center score. So there is a score of a seller. And if your score goes down, so the moment it goes down slightly lower than 5,
yes,
your items will start to be demotivated on the platform. So if, let's say, you are selling shoes, your shoes are coming on the first page, but if your score is not getting better, it's going to go on the third, fourth page, and customers will less likely to find your products. Then finally, after a threshold, you will be blacklisted automatically by system. And I think this automatic check is what is our machinery about, and it flushes out all the inferior products out of the system.
Thank you so much, Vinod Goel, who is the regional manager for regional CEO, I beg your pardon, for Jumia East Africa. There we were looking at the e-commerce trends, and especially in the light of the year end, where there are so many offers, they are putting into perspective the next frontier in terms of e-commerce, which is really growing in Africa and especially Kenya. Away from that, investors should tap the immense agricultural opportunities in northern Kenya by setting up infrastructure to support smart agriculture, arid and semi-arid lands, and regional development. Principal Secretary Kelo Harsama says strategic investment in water management and irrigation are key in unlocking the economic potential of northern Kenya that can be turned into the country's food basket.
Kenya Impact underway in Nairobi, where policymakers are showcasing business opportunities in the region. Smart agriculture was a key area of focus, with policymakers highlighting the need for investors to explore putting up infrastructure to support smart agriculture in the northern Kenya region.
Today, we have the opportunity to explore impactful investments in various sectors, including water management and irrigation, infrastructure development, energy through solar and wind, tourism, livestock development, urban and rural development, and climate-resilient agriculture.
They called for incentives to overcome challenges occasioned by poor infrastructure, underinvestment, and climate change. Some of the strategies include efficient irrigation systems, planting drought-resistant crops such as sorghum and millet, employing soil management techniques, and water harvesting to enhance productivity.
It's important we generate solutions, and that solution is food security for the north through solarization for pumping of water. So all partners, let's go to the north.
The potential for collaboration is immense, and it is through our collective efforts that we can unlock this potential.
USAID KUZA, through the Impact for Northern Kenya Fund, launched a new climate finance window which earmarks 1.34 billion shillings for supporting small businesses implement climate smart practices.
KBC successfully supported micro, small, and medium enterprises throughout these counties. The impact investments aligns with our belief in creating measurable social and economic benefits, and as a corporation, our focus has been on enhancing access to credit and financial inclusion, promoting innovative financial solutions, collaborative partnerships, capacity building and training.
Frederick.
And in sports, the late former Gor Mahia and Harambee Stars legend Austin Odwor will be given a befitting send-off on the 9th of November, according to his former teammate and family representative, Tobias Ochola. According to Ochola, a requiem mass will be held on Friday next week in Kisumu, and thereafter, members of public and Austin fans will have a chance to view the body and pay their last respects to the fallen legend. And Harambee on the subject matter will be held on Tuesday next week. This was highlighted after a successful second funeral organizing committee meeting, which was chaired by Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of performance and delivery management in the Office of the President, Eliud Owalo.
They are part of the planning that we have accomplished today. The rest will meet again tomorrow. Then there will be a third meeting here at 4 Points Hotel in Hurlingham on Thursday to affirm what we'll have planned tomorrow again. Then that will take us to the Harambee. We are asking the well-wishers, the friends of the late Austin, to come in large numbers on the 5th. So that we get what we can get and make sure that we give the late a decent burial as we finish the journey.
Further afield, AC Milan lost 2-0 against Napoli in Serie A. Goals from both Romelu Lukaku and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia gave Antonio Conte's side a win to extend their lead by 7 points in the Serie A league table. In another match, Cagliari suffered a 2-0 defeat against Bologna.
Lukaku is through here. Lukaku! He always... Still, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia! Kvaratskhelia rested on Saturday, fresh this evening, and 2 of Napoli's big...
And in England, James Bree scored an 88th-minute winner as Southampton beat a championship side Stoke City 3-2 to book their place in the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup. In another match, Brentford beat Sheffield Wednesday on penalties to progress to the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup after a 1-1 draw. Very well, that's where we put a cap on KBC Lunchtime News this afternoon. Many thanks indeed for joining us. For more news, kindly don't forget to check out our social media spaces, including our website and app. As a KBC app, for the website is www.kbc.co.ke. On behalf of everyone who has made this broadcast a success, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Njue. Lucy Mwaura has been my colleague handling the sign language interpretation. Have a good one.